My name's Jordan Walsh, and I'm going to tell you how I believe iPhones have changed our ways of communications and how they've affected our daily lives. Think about 5 years ago and what kind of technology or social media you were really committed to then. It was probably something like MySpace or even reality TV was pretty big. But when the first smartphone came out, we gained the constant ability to talk to anyone, anywhere. We can text anyone and we can talk and communicate with someone without even using our voices. To some older generations, this was rather baffling and very silly. However, just take a second to think about how life was before smartphones entered our lives. Firstly, I would like to talk about relationships. I would like to talk about how they've had many positive and negative effects. There's many good things. For long distance relationships, there's such things as FaceTime, so you guys can see each other and visibly talk face to face, basically, except it's kind of on a device, but you can sort of see each other face to face. Another thing that could be very bad is in most relationships now, people are texting and talking constantly. It can cause a lot of stress on the relationship, and normal relationships don't have the obsession to talk 24/7. The second thing I would like to talk to you guys about is our communication skills with one another. If you're walking down the hallway and you make eye contact with someone and you don't know them, what do you normally do? You look down at your phone and you scroll, and you pretend that you're texting or try to look busy because we've become kind of antisocial and scared to talk to one another if we don't know one another. The next thing that I like to talk about is daily routines. In my daily routine, the first thing I do when I wake up is check social media. I go on my phone and I check my Twitter account, I check my Instagram newsfeed, and even if I want to waste time, don't want to get out of bed, I'll check Facebook. It's kind of like our newspaper. We'll use it as a tool to catch up what we're doing, and we can catch up with the world before we even get out of bed. I also do it right before bed. We're all guilty of falling asleep with our phone in our hands, which isn't very good for our brains. It causes lack of sleep, and it will allow you to wake up more often throughout the night because you're not getting as good of a sleep. It's kind of like how they always said TV is bad to watch before you go to bed. Another thing that I like to talk about is all the gadgets in the phone that we don't even realize we have access to every day. If you really think about it, we rely on our phones for time. Not a lot of people wear watches anymore. If they do, it's probably for style. We have a flashlight in our hand at all times. Well, majority smartphones do. How many of us ever thought we would carry around a flashlight all the time? The biggest thing for me, though, is GPS and comparing generations to now and then. Back in the day, if you needed to know somewhere to go, you would read and use a map, or even stop and communicate and talk, ask someone for directions. Whereas now, we just have GPS in our phone at any time, all the time. If we get lost, there's no such thing as getting lost anymore because we just have that GPS. Many things have changed from generations due to phones. Our social aspects have changed. People are less talkative with each other. I believe that it's really changed things, and it's changed the ability that we have with communication with one another and the presence of each other. Compared to we rather talk to people who aren't with us than the people that are with us. And as older generations come and see what new technology is bringing, it's nothing they've ever dreamed of. They can't keep up with it. I think it's really important that we just find an equal balance between real life relationships and relationships through our phones. I know you probably can't see, but as a visual, I was going to use my phone to show you guys. I held it in my hand the whole speech. You would normally see it if I was in person. But the point of my visual is many of us don't even realize that we're not giving direct attention and we're being rude when we're on our phones and someone's talking to us. When a friend's talking to us and we don't even understand what they said because we're too busy on our phones. Or when you're at dinner with a group of friends and no one's even communicating with one another. Everyone's in a whole different world on their phones. So I think it's very important that as a generation, we try to really put down our phones and talk to the ones that we're surrounded by. We need to learn how to live in the present, and yes, we may use our phones to document everything, but we just don't want to forget about the people right in front of us. So thank you for listening to my speech, and I hope you put your phones down a little bit more often.